Royal Tournaments introduced now by Eric Robson.
Man has always envied the birds their mastery of the air. In the 16th century, Leonardo da Vinci devised a machine which he hoped would make man-powered flight a reality. The result was this strange flying machine, the ornithopter. It's been recreated, not in sunny Italy, but in a workshop in Colchester. Built to be the curtain raiser for an entertainment which celebrates the birth of flight and more recent generations of power in the air. The 99th Royal Tournament. The massed bands of the Royal Air Force and the marching detachment of the Queen's Colour Squadron RAF Regiment take us now to the days of the First World War, to those early dogfight days when the Royal Flying Corps was founded. The tunes are well known enough, but unless you once wore goggles and your cap back to front, you probably won't recognise the words. Colour Squadron dressed in uniforms of the modern Air Force and the Royal Flying Corps uniform of 1916. This medley of messroom songs, arranged by the Principal Director of Music for the RAF, Wing Commander Barry Hindley, changes now to The Bold Aviator Was Dying. Joined by the massed bands, the marching detachment now forms the shape of a tiger moth. But then your imagination perhaps sees a sop with camel. Early airman's heartfelt plea. Another 1,000 revs wouldn't do him any harm. the skill of the parade discipline as the airmen recount the yarn that there were 3 Huns sat on his tail. Hurrah, hurrah. Fond memory now of friends and sweethearts. She wore it for an airman who was far, far away. And the formation changes to the sweeping wing of the modern fighter-bomber. They can't have been an easy bunch to command, these early aviators, men of an independent frame of mind, singing "Glory Flying Regulations." The massed bands of the Royal Air Force, the lead service at this year's Royal Tournament. The salute this evening taken by Her Royal Highness, the Princess Royal. Well, meanwhile, in the sunshine of the Earl's Court car park, there's the final grooming of the 6 gun teams of the King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery. Well, normally this is all done out of public view in the hall next door, but building works of this year banished them to the great outdoors. They even have to make a precarious entrance to the arena through a special covered tunnel at the start of their galloping, daring, musical drive. King's Troop was named by King George VI, who wanted a mounted artillery unit to be on hand to take part in ceremonial events. Even today, they're probably best known for their gun salutes in Hyde Park or Green Park on state occasions. They form up to delight the Earl's Court audience with a display of equestrian expertise and split-second timing. Each of the 6 teams hauling 1.5 tons of gun and limber. The limber, of course, wants the ammunition box. Weaving and intertwining units that, just to make it that bit more difficult, don't have any brakes. These horses, impeccably matched in size and colour, are generally bought in Ireland when they're 5 years old. They'll stay with the troop until they're 15 or 16. Royal Tournament Fortnight provides their toughest workload of the year. King's Troop, Royal Horse Artillery, charge! You may notice that the third pair of horses is slightly stockier than the others. That's because their key job is to be the brakes on this 1.5 tons of antique equipment. The King's Troop, the fastest guns in the West End, parade before the Royal Box. Two of the teams now withdraw as the 4 others prepare to give the 13,000-strong crowd here an example of their ceremonial salute. Well, the Eagle seems to have survived intact on this occasion. The King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery now give way to the RAF motorcycle display team. Odd-looking motorbike, isn't it? But full of surprises. 2 teams in blue support command, in red strike command, showing off their motorcycling skills. And demonstrating that even for experienced riders, pride comes before a fall. I should explain that the gentleman who's just tasted the floor of the Earl's Court Arena is Sergeant Frank Proud of the RAF Regiment. But to the serious business, 2 teams competing over, as you'll see, an extremely dodgy obstacle course. They're ready, and they're off. the captain of Support Command, Sergeant Vince Kearney of the Red Arrows, taking a slight lead. As he negotiates the Land Rover. Frank Proud, captain of Strike Command, not rolling out the battle quite so easily, giving Support Command quite a lead as they turn for home at the end of this first leg, over the seesaw and home. And the second runner for Support Command, Sergeant Pete Stanton. As if it wasn't difficult enough doing it without, he's carrying one of our cameras.
Finding it out now, not a big deal of distance between them in the race at the moment. They're almost neck and neck as they go round the turn at the Warwick Road end. I'm sure you'll absolutely crawl at the side.
Support Command being overtaken though by Strike. Strike over the seesaw and home.
And the last two men are on their way.
These lads riding Fantic 245 motorcycles, quieter than those hideous little jobs that attack your eardrums in the high street. Strike Command, slight lead.
Strike Command slightly the lead in red. It goes up further. Brilliant.
More battle trouble, and almost off. Support Command losing a bit of time there. But overtaking at the seesaw to come home in the lead. All to the applause of a lot of envious little boys, some of them under the age of 30. But now a manoeuvre not recommended as a way of getting out of a traffic jam on the M25 via the roof of an Austin Metro. But now, soothe the ears with the Second World War sounds of the RAF Squadronaires, In the Mood.